Hi, Miss. So the topic for our assignment is violence and bullying in education in Guyana. So we examine the root causes, including poverty, family violence, peer pressure, social media, and weak school policy. We applied the Bronfen-Brenard ecological theory and the trauma informed framework to explain the issue. We discussed the impact on we discussed the impact on the academic performance, behavior, attendance, mental health, and students' engagement. Recommendations, evidence based strategies such as anti bullying policy, guidance and counseling, social, emotional learning, teacher training, and retroactive practices. And we concluded to say that reducing violence and bullying, collaborating among school, families, community, and the government to create a safe and supportive learning environment. So, we were saying that collaborating will help lower violence and bullying within the school environment, and it will bring a great closure to all of, at least it would help to bring a great closure to all of what is going on in the school environment of today if these systems is being put in place and collaborate and everyone work together when collaborating in helping these students bring closure to this issue. So I will be moving on to explain the map. Yes, I will be moving on to explain the map, what the map is basically saying. So the system map shows that violence and bullying in Guyana school are caused by interconnected factors such as family, violence, poverty, peer pressure, social media, and weak school policy. These factors negatively affect students' learning, behavior, attendance, and mental health. The map also highlights that supportive family, positive school environment, counseling, and effective school intervention can help break the cycle and create a safer and inclusive school environment. So, as I said before, get collaborating, at least getting the parents involved in supporting these students will help to bring closure to this issue. And counseling, working with them through counseling, help them to understand, and using these interventions will help these students. So in closing, I will put you over to my colleague who will now explain the findings and the recommendation in helping the students in the school environment. Thank you.
My name is Unika Abel, and I will be presenting the key findings and the recommended interventions for the systems or concept map. 1. Violence and bullying are caused by multiple interconnected factors. As we know, no single factor contributes or causes bullying. Some of these factors are family issues, peer influence, community violence, social media. All interact to influence a student behavior. Secondly, family experience strongly influence behavior at school. Children exposed to violence, poor parenting practice, family conflicts, neglect are more likely to display aggressive behavior or become victims of bullying. School climate can either increase or reduce bullying. Schools with weak discipline, poor teacher-student relationships, limited supervisions, and inadequate counseling create conditions where bullying is more likely to occur. Supportive school environments reduce these risks. Another findings is trauma contributes significantly to violent behavior. Experiences such as abuse, poverty, family separation, community violence affect students' emotional regulation, decision making, and relationship, increasing the likelihood of bullying. Another point, violence and bullying create a cycle of negative outcomes. Bullying leads to fear, anxiety, poor academic performance, absenteeism, social isolation, and mental health challenges, which may further increase behavioral problems if left unaddressed. Another finding is community and societal influences reinforce school behavior. Community crime, poverty, discrimination, cultural attitudes towards violence, and exposure to violent media and cyberbullying contribute to behavior seen in schools presently. And lastly, effective solutions require collaboration across all systems. The concept map shows that lasting improvements occur when families, schools, communities, counselors, and policymakers work together instead of relying on punishment. So now I will look at the recommended interventions from the systems or concept map. 1. Strengthen positive behavior interventions and supports, PBIS. That purpose is to promote positive behavior through clear expectations and encouragement. For example, you introduce classroom behavior agreements. You recognize students who constantly demonstrate respect and cooperation. You reward positive conflict resolution instead of focusing only on misconduct. Implement restorative practices. That purpose is to repair relationships and promote accountability after bullying incidents. Some examples are: you conduct restorative circles after conflicts. Use peer meditation to resolve disagreements. All conferences involving students, parents, and teachers to rebuild trust. Another intervention will be integrate social emotional learning, SEL. That purpose is to build students' emotional and interpersonal skills. Some example is to teach empathy through role play. Include lessons on anger management and respectful communication. And you can also practice as an HFLE social studies teacher. You can also practice the life skills in HFLE. Practice problem solving and responsible decision making during classes. Another recommendation will be expand guidance and counseling services. So that purpose is to provide early intervention and emotional support. Some examples will be schedule regular counseling sessions for students affected by bullying. Offer group programs on self-esteem, resilience, and conflict resolution. Refer students with significant needs to specialized support services. And another recommendation is adopt trauma-informed teaching. That purpose is to respond to challenging behavior with understanding rather than punishment alone. For example, check in privately with a distressed student before applying disciplinary measures. See where they're coming from. Establish calm down spaces in classroom. Use consistent routines that help students feel safe and supported. Another recommendation is strengthen family and community partnership. This is to create shared responsibility for preventing violence and bullying. For example, you host parent education workshops. You develop mentoring programs with community organizations. You partner with faith-based groups and youth clubs to reinforce positive values. And another point is to provide continuous teacher training. You equip teachers to prevent and respond effectively to bullying. Some examples: train teachers in classroom management, and I think most teachers are trained for classroom management. Trauma-informed practices, cyberbullying prevention, and child protection. Conduct annual professional development workshop focused on student well-being. And lastly, strengthen school and national policies. You ensure consistent prevention, reporting, and intervention practices. How can we do that? By establishing anonymous reporting systems. We can form school anti-bullying committees. Increase investment in mental health services and awareness. Develop a national database to monitor bullying trends and guide policy decisions. To conclude on the findings and intervention, we say that violence and bullying cannot be solved by punishment alone. A system thinking approach shows that lasting change requires a collaborative effort among schools, families, and the communities, and also policymakers. And that is what we're doing presently in our country. By implementing evidence-based interventions such as PBIS, restorative practices such as emotional learning, trauma-informed teaching counseling services, and strong partnership can create safer, more inclusive learning environments where every student has the opportunity to succeed.